Bluecliff record, case 53. One day, Master Basso and Master Haikujo were out walking. A flock of wild ducks flew overhead. Basso said, "Where have the ducks gone?" Haikujo said, "They've flown away." Basso grabbed Haikujo's nose and twisted it, causing him to cry out in pain. So in what respect is Haikujo's answer deficient? If it was, well, we can say that his answer was conceptual rather than describing and expressing his immediate momentary experience, because the birds were, as it were, appearing within a framework of space and time. We can also say that his statement is self-focused, because it's only from his perspective that the birds have flown away. From the bird's perspective, Haikujo has flown away, and from the sky's perspective, nothing has flown away. Basso famously said that mind and world were one. But to say this and mean it, we can't somehow eradicate the mind, eradicate the self, and leave the world exactly as it is, with this four-dimensional shape of fields and trees and wild ducks and time. When we're on retreat at Ardfern, just before we have our discussions, I collect my thoughts and my notes in a little porch which overlooks the loch below us and the low Argyll Mountains beyond that. And immediately outside the porch, there's a couple of nice wee trees, and in those trees there's the liveliest little birds, and quite often green-breasted birds, little red heads, and these birds are marvellous. They seem weightless, just instantaneously going from branch to branch. They're completely expressive, and they appear to be without fear. And although I would love to be like them, I can't. The dojo that we sit in when we're on retreat is in a separate building just up from the house, and it's got a huge glass front to it, again revealing views of the loch and the mountains. And when we were sitting there one day, we heard two thuds on the window. And when we went outside after the sitting, we found one bird there whose neck had been broken, and it was obvious what had happened, that two young birds were just cavorting freely through the air. One of them had struck the window and broke his neck, and the other one had flown away. If we take non-duality seriously, then the fabric of all being can't simply be what we see. It can't simply be the world as we've constructed it up to now. The fabric must include memory, imagination, everything that every being is experiencing. So the universe has 1,000 million and expressions. And so the fabric is something more alive than we can conceptually imagine.